Welcome to Sharing Tea with Dr. C, a podcast where women come together to sip, share, and discuss all things marriage. Join us as we dive into the heart of relationships. We're here to unpack it all in a safe and supportive space. So take a deep breath. Relax. And let's brew some wisdom together. This is Sharing Tea with Dr. C.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If I have any out there, welcome. I'm so glad you joined me today, and I hope you have your cup of tea or coffee, because I want you to share tea with me, Dr. C. Please share the link with someone and also subscribe. No cost to you. You know, I was married to Reggie for 50 years before his passing. It was tough sometimes. I'm not gonna paint it all rosy. But we really did have a great marriage. And if there's anything that I can share with you to help your marriage, then I really, truly want to do that. And that's really why I'm doing these podcasts. Could you just bow your heads for a moment of prayer? Lord, just please, just let something help these couples so that they too can have a loving and long-lasting marriage. Amen. You know, I got married thinking that love was all I needed. Wasn't that a Beatles song or something? Love is all you need? Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. When I laid my eyes on Reggie the first time, it was lust was all I needed. I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, my heart did flips, my palms were sweating, and I used to tell the people in church that I really do think my liver quivered. Oh yeah, I think it did. I really do. And he would say later to me that he had that same physical, chemical, if you will, reaction. And you know what? I'm happy to say that, you know, in spite of the ups and downs, some rocky road, he really still made my liver quiver to this day. In the beginning of our relationship, I was having a very normal chemical reaction to this handsome, just GQ looking man. Intelligent, smart, funny, caring. Oh my God. Yes, my palms did sweat. But let's face it, it really was lust at first sight. Because in reality, neither one of us knew what love really was. We did not know at that time that love was unconditional. And agape kind of love is what we needed. Not that eros love, okay? A lasting, loving marriage cannot be rooted in infatuation. Infatuation, by the very definition, means to be completely carried away by unreasoning passions and attractions. And although that phase in a marriage is a lot of fun and, quite thrilling, it is not real love. Oh, during this early stage, I don't know about you, but I was giddy and giggly, and I just hung on to every word he said. I thought he was the most intelligent man in the world. And I mean, his eyelashes literally were this long, okay? I couldn't help but looking into his eyes, all right? And I mean, I always thought he was smart and intelligent. But then, oh, I was just hanging on every word. And, you know, but by the time you get married and have been married a few years, some of that shine diminishes a little, doesn't it? And as time goes on and marriage goes on, reality sets in, doesn't it? I mean, before we know it, we've got kids, homework to do with the kids, bills to pay, decisions to make, PTA meetings to go to, baseball to go to, piano lessons to take him to. Maybe he's in school, maybe you're in school. And did I say work? Oh my goodness. Why? What? Life happens. And by the time you both get home from work and doing all of that, you know, sometimes you're too tired to be giddy and giggly. I mean, really, the excitement just kind of wears a little bit, doesn't it? And if you're not careful, we are wondering what is going on, and maybe I'm not as happy as I really was. And then you begin to feel every single slight, every single disappointment. And each time our feelings are hurt, an emotional brick is formed. And if we aren't careful, a wall is erected around our hearts of all those disappointments and those hurts. Before you know it, you and your spouse are only talking about the kids or work, and sex becomes boring, routine, or not even existent at all. Love is truly about meeting each other's marital needs. Love in a marriage is about meeting each other's marital needs. Sexual needs, yes. Spiritual needs, no. If there's a hole in your heart, longing to be filled, and you just don't know where to have it filled, if you're suffering from childhood traumas, other life's traumas, you need Jesus. Amen. A spouse can never fill that. Reggie and I had absolutely no idea how to meet each other's most of the marital needs. Oh, sexual needs, oh yeah. But other marital needs, okay, hit and miss. Why? Because we were selfish and you know, we wanted it, you know, my way, he wanted it his way. But we really didn't mean to be like that. I'm not really. I mean, I wanted to be a good wife. He wanted to be a good husband, but what's good? And often we spend so much time, I know we did, meeting the wrong needs for our spouse, okay? As author Willard Harley Jr. says in his book, his needs, her needs, I quote, ignorance contributes to the failure of a marriage because men and women have great difficulty understanding and appreciating the value of each other's needs. End of quote. Mr. Harley mentions these needs: need of affection, sexual fulfillment, affirmation, admiration, appreciation, undivided attention, conversation, domestic support, family commitment, appreciation through gifts, appreciation through works. I separated that out because it was so important. Physical attractiveness, financial support, and honesty and openness. And we go, whew, good grief, how am I supposed to meet all those? Well, actually, you probably are meeting quite a number of them, okay? You really are. But there's just a few that your spouse holds more important than the others. He really does. Reggie wanted and needed appreciation through works. Me, appreciation through gifts for me. All right, nothing expensive. A card, a cupcake, except Christmas and my birthday. But no, nothing expensive. So that's what I needed. I also needed affection. I'm not talking about sex, but affection. And his undivided attention. You have to remember, he was a pastor. He had a lot going on. So when he was home and sitting down, he wanted to read his paper and listen to me at the same time. No, that didn't work for me. Okay, put the paper down, listen to me, and then you can read your paper. And what Reggie wanted, which I thought was so strange, was he wanted me to cook a few meals for him. Really? You know I hate cooking. He would tell the congregation, you know what? Dr. C gets a headache just walking through the kitchen, okay? And I would be like, I'm gonna get you. But it was true. And he did it so well. Let me tell you, before he became full-time pastor, he had a job and he was getting ready to go on a business trip for a couple of days. We had 2 girls, and they said, Dad, before you go, please make your lasagna. Please don't make Mom cook. Yeah, okay. Need I say any more? But he would light up when I cooked. I'm like, oh my God, if this meant that much to him. I said, okay, twice a week. I mean, I had a few dishes that I could really, I could really slam. And I just kept rotating those, okay? And then I kept thinking, what else could I do? Well, for example, I passed the cleaners on my way into work. So I would take his cleaning. Every Sunday he wore a suit, and when he was working, he wore a suit. And on Sundays particularly, he'd have a little kerchief right here. So I would get them and, maybe 8, 9 of them, and just iron them all up, okay? He loved that. Go figure, right? But that was his need. And once we started working on what each other really needed, oh my goodness, it just turned our marriage right on around. I mean, it was already loving, but it really did turn our marriage around. 180-degree turn. Now, what happens if your husband does not meet your marital needs? Well, there are two categories. Husbands who desire to meet their wives' marital needs but don't know how, but they're quite willing to learn. Then you have the husbands who think they know how, but they really don't. So what do? Well, I'm going to push Mr. Willard Harley Jr.'s book. Get his book, his needs, her needs, and the workbook immediately. Discuss what you discover. Discuss it, discuss it, discuss it, and discover what each other's prominent needs are. And truly listen with no judgment. I think when I learned that Reggie wanted me to cook, I was like, huh? Really? That's what you need? Listen, when I would cook, his face would light up. And then when we retired, I really wanted to do a little something then, and I took out cookbooks. Oh my goodness, his face would truly light up. And I won't need to tell you about later on how inspired he was, okay? I mean, who knew? Here I was trying to give him little gifts and cards. I mean, he loved that, but that was what I needed. So, what happens when you have husbands who really do want to learn? All right, get Mr. Harley's book, go through it together, discover, and then, you may need to compromise. Well, then do, all right? And learn and really just delve on into it, okay? You may make some mistakes, just correct them, all right? And you'd be amazed at how much happier you and he are. Ladies, I'm so sorry. Our time has gone to a close, but I certainly enjoyed having you with me today, sharing tea with me, all right? But there are a couple of takeaways I want to leave you. Just a few. Discover your spouse's marital needs and yours. And no judgment. Don't be like me when I went, cooking? No judgment. And remember, unconditional love. Also, please share the link and subscribe. No cost to you. All right. Bye-bye. See you in a few weeks, okay? Thank you for sharing tea with me, Dr. C.